Hey everyone, welcome and thank you for watching this video. Today I have two of my friends here, Mirta and Anthony. How are you both?
Hey, good. Thanks, Arthur.
Hey, oh yeah. Now,
Thank you, Arthur.
that's good. Now, the I would love to share with everyone about a podcast project that you guys been working on for a bit over a year now, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that is the initiative that was born at the start of Melbourne lockdowns
Hmm.
or Australian-wide lockdowns. And it started as a necessity because suddenly we were not able to communicate with clients face to face. Everyone was isolated in his room, in his house, and we thought of new ways how to pass information to clients. And somehow the podcast was born. And it started as a little initiative and it grew over the past year. So currently we have quite a decent number of plays in the air.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was also at a time when uh, people entering Australia just started hotel quarantine. And so it was a good opportunity to give people something to do in quarantine for 2 weeks. So we thought if we had a series of podcasts for people to listen to, that would bring some benefit to them.
Mm. And we also realized that the podcasts are quite simple technology.
Yeah.
They don't require complicated apps or
Yeah.
they don't use a lot of data. So very easy to use for our clients.
And they're shareable too. So
Yes.
yeah, so you can listen to it, and if you enjoyed it, you thought you got something good out of it, you can share the link with someone else, and we've seen that spread in the community, which has been great.
Hey, I mean, that's how I know about it.
Yeah,
Because it's shareable. That's how I
that's
got. So let's go in a little bit with what the podcast is about. Maybe I'll get each of you to talk about like two or three areas that you covered. Let's go with you, Anthony.
great. So we record two podcasts. One is the COVID news podcast. So that is kind of like an iterative update on what's happening with any lockdown news, any restrictions or changes to rules and restrictions, vaccinations, and exposure sites, things like that. We also have the Australian Life series, which covers a whole range of topics. I think we've got over 20 different topics at the moment. But some of the ones that I know our client base or new arrivals may be really interested in is things like housing. So what the housing market is like, both private and public housing, education, so university, high school, things like that, and also employment. So things like how to do well in a job interview.
Fantastic. And Retta?
Um, COVID wasn't easy on any of us. So my favorite topics that I would like to alert everyone about are health related podcasts. We have 4 episodes on health only. So they are very helpful in understanding how one can access GP services, specialist services, emergency services. The topics are written in a really simple manner, but they are still comprehensive and informative. The other one that is quite, uh, you know, um, a favorite for me is, although the topic is not especially favorite, topics about family relationships.
Yeah.
We are preparing them in a form of dialogues. So they are a little bit different to all our other episodes. And they touch on sensitive areas of domestic violence and what to do if someone is experiencing troubles in relationships. So they are especially important now in this COVID period when everyone is stressed and when many relationships might be under additional pressure and are experiencing problems, challenges.
Yeah, and well, on that note, I want to add that I also really like the assessing childcare or education, that side of things, because it's interesting because even for people who have been living in Australia for quite a few years, then when your life change, like, you know, get into a relationship or have a child or something like that, those are new information. So if they are available in the language that you're familiar with, why not? I get to assist a little bit with the social media side of things, but of course, like, you know, the big part of work is you guys and all of the presenters. Now, for the audience that who haven't don't know much about the podcast just yet, this podcast was written with the settlement clients of AIMS Australia in mind, and they are most of them have just arrived Australia or about to arrive Australia. Is that correct?
Correct. So it really targets new arrivals and even people who have been here potentially up to the first 12 months, even maybe more, up to 18 months. We have two podcast series. One is called The Australian Life, which focuses on different aspects of living in Australia, such as housing, such as English classes, such as activities for children. And the other podcast is the COVID News podcast. So whenever we go into a lockdown or have some updates with restrictions, we quickly put together one of these episodes and share it and spread it amongst the community so that everyone's up to date with the most recent news. And we have a dedicated team of, well, roughly 10 to 15 staff who record it in a number of different languages.
Yeah, and they are different languages. They include, for example, Arabic, Hakachin,
Hazaragi, yeah, Karen.
Hazaragi, Dari. We have podcasts in Swahili as well, Tibetan, Nepalese, and the staff involved are coming from different portfolios. In a way, they are our case managers, client support workers, orientation guides, program support officers. So everyone is chipping in, and everyone is bringing skills that they have and can utilize in this space.
And all of them are native or first language speakers of their particular language, so they have a proper understanding. So it's not Google Translate, people. No. It's not Google Translate, people.
No, that's right. It's everything is carefully considered. And as anyone who speaks another language knows, not everything translates exactly from English into another language. So the staff carefully phrase things in a way that's understandable to the audience.
Well, hey, I mean, even for me and my parents, we speak Cantonese, but there are particular words that don't translate into English. So even though that we speak to each other in English a lot, but then there's just some words that just work better in its own language. So and that it must be quite a especially with the COVID news series, it must be it can be a little bit of a stressful time. And what are the challenges to deliver all of the episodes that you planned to do within such a short time frame?
As you said, it is quite challenging, but Anthony can talk more about COVID news because it's really surprising how quickly they are written, firstly, and that's something that Anthony does, and then how supportive the team members are. They practically translate in 2 or 3 hours and record as well. Anthony quickly works on voice adjustments and releases them on Anchor. So it only takes us few hours to have a finished product, and which is actually the sign of amazing cooperation we have within the team, and everyone taking that part of responsibility and understanding how important we all are as a team. So it is just amazing work, especially around COVID news.
Yeah,
And we understand that information is so important because there are so many comments in the media about how do we reach to communities in order that we really pass well the information, of course, to achieve compliance that is so important for Victoria.
Yeah, I think you've covered it, Meta. And to date, you go to all that effort, and you want to know that it's having an impact. And I think to date we've reached over 2,000 downloads for the episodes combined, which is a big milestone. So that's great.
And Anthony, I do want to go into the question a little bit about, like, how what kind of process does it require for you to write the script to be translated in such a short period of time?
Yeah, the government's getting much better at being clear about the requirements of each lockdown, which has been helpful. But
experience help.
Yeah. So fifth time around, I think you have to pull together a whole bunch of different resources. So there's the official government documents which are released, but you've also got some really helpful news articles that provide more of an overview. And so the script writing can be quick depending on how clear the articles are. And so once that's all together, that we call a meeting with the staff, we review the script, make sure everybody's on the same page, make sure there's no misunderstanding or potential misinformation. Then it's recorded and then edited and uploaded. So if an announcement is made in the afternoon, we can get the script done and all the episodes uploaded by close of business the following day.
Yeah, like last week, it was actually amazing because I pay attention to the press conference as well. That it's like they happen around 11 or 12 on the day. And then by 4 o'clock, I already got the links from you guys. I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
I was like, whatever coffee you've been having, I need the name of the brand. But and I think it is, personally, I found it really inspiring that you guys have really just jumped into this and just give this a go, and also all of the presenters in different languages, because for me, because my specialty is in social media, and so I'm very experienced in finding bad information online, and there's a lot of misinformation out there. I guess to close this video, I just want to share a message to all of the viewers that is there are a lot of information out there, but not all of them would put in a lot of care and consideration. But this podcast they put in a lot of time and effort, and also really, like, a strong coffee or two to make it happen. So please consider sharing this podcast with your network. And so, guys, how do people find this podcast?
Our podcasts, both series, the Australian Life and the COVID News, are available on 8 or so different platforms. The main ones that you can check out are Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, and also Google Podcasts as well. And so you can also Google them. So you've got Australian Life podcast by AIMS Australia and COVID News podcast, AIMS Australia, and they will pop up for you.
Wonderful. And I'll put the link underneath this video. So before I let you guys go, I'll get each of you to come up with a short message to the listeners, just some words of encouragement, if that's okay. And let's start with you, Meta.
Okay, message to listeners. Listen to AIMS Australia podcasts, please. They are very useful. They will help you. They are meant to support you and provide accurate and important information.
Yeah, and message to listeners is download the podcast, give them a go, and also consider sharing them with other people in your family who may not be accessing the news all the time, and give it to them so that they've got something easy, digestible, something that they can listen to and understand.
Absolutely. And just adding on to that is even for all of the people who watch this video, even if this podcast might not directly useful for yourself, you might know someone who knows someone who can find that useful. So just all you need to do is copy the link, put it on the text or on an email, share it with other people, find it on LinkedIn, get it through on Facebook, Instagram, go for it. And on that note, both of you, thank you so much for putting this together. And I wish you guys the best success of this ongoing. I'll keep checking it out. I mean, I can't speak or understand all of the other languages, but I will be more than happy to keep sharing it in the future. Thanks.
Thanks, Arthur.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you for having us.